Is it okay to not want to be friends with someone due to their political views? Depends. I think you can be friends with someone who disagrees with you about certain topics, i.e. taxation. I wouldn't be friends with someone who disagrees with me about human rights, though. It's okay to not want to be friends with someone for any reason at all. You don't even need to have a good reason. You can still be friends and be different politically. I consider myself progressive, but for the longest time I lived in red state. So I was surrounded by conservatives but still made friends with some. Besides, if you surround yourself with like-minded people, you'll be living in echo chamber. I do draw the line at racism, though. Unfriended some people on Facebook because of it. It depends on the issues. I can easily get along with someone who supports school vouchers or VAT tax or thinks differently from me on issues of fiscal policy. We can get along if we disagree on term limits, campaign finance reform, stuff like that. Where I can't get along with people who disagree is on issues that I think boil down to a deep moral divide, and there are a lot of those these days. Yes, it is okay, but you still have to recognize them as a human with equal rights to you. Sure, you can decide not to be friends with someone if yellow isn't their favorite color. Any reason can be a good reason if it's important enough for you. Political views are very high up there because they might show a completely different set of values a person is following and judging others by. That can work for a while but is unlikely to yield long-term BFFs. Yes, be friends with anyone you want or don't with anyone you don't. It's your life. They're your choices. I mean, that depends. I can disagree with someone about gun rights, video games causing violence, taxation, things like that. I can't agree with racism, sexism, or any other form of bigotry. You don't have to rationalize why you don't want to be friends with anyone. That said, depriving ourselves of opportunities to be confronted with strong opposing viewpoints from people we respect will not lead to anywhere we want to go. I am not a gatekeeper for anything. But you asked. I am HOYMMV. It's okay to not want to be friends with anyone for any reason. Also, being friends is not a prerequisite for respect and decency. Honestly, at this point any association with political views is a bit of a reason to stop contact with me now. I care so little now, whether it's about actual politics or what are human rights that some people call politics. Regardless of if it's political or not, I rather just avoid discussion of it altogether unless I'm in an actual situation where it should be discussed. It's not that I'm not willing to talk about opinions on it ever, but I've stopped talking to some people from my school because they won't stop trying to start conversations with me about human rights and why X politician is the worst possible candidate for X position. I just rather try to focus on literally anything else that's more important and affects me more in my life, like trying to get all my schoolwork done so I can hopefully have a free hour in senior year, when I'm not worrying about all my actual work and projects I have to do. I'd rather spend my time doing fun things and relaxing, instead of debating stuff I can only really have an opinion on. And even when I do have an opinion, I just beaten down for it because the majority disagrees. I have friends with wildly different political views than me, yet it doesn't bother me. I view people who can't as immature and tribalistic, though I don't see anything wrong against not associating with political extremists. Technically, it's okay to not be friends with anyone for any reason. But I think that if your identity is so tied to politics that if a friend supports a politician you cut them out of your life, that's kind of sad. Having a diverse set of people around you with different ideas is a good thing. You don't have to be friends with anyone you don't want to. If their political views are a deal breaker, that's fully within your right. I do agree that it's important to see things from different angles, i.e. avoid an echo chamber. But you chose who you want to be friends with. When a view that causes others harm is in play, then I would choose not to befriend that person. Politics aside, some viewpoints are just wrong and cruel and do nothing to add to the well-being of others in society. It may be dragged into politics, but it is not politics. It is bigotry, ignorance, bullying, or just plain stupidity. I think it's a total subjective thing. You choose who you want to be friends with. He choose who he want to be friends with. Maybe you like discussing politics with people who have the same view as yours. Maybe you like to know different views. Maybe you don't want politics in your friendships. It's totally up to you. I'd like to know what reasons X and Y and so on were, and why they kept you from wanting to be friends. I can't answer your question based on X and Y. You can absolutely not be friends with someone because of their political views. I wouldn't want to be friends with someone who is racist, misogynistic, just about every phobic there is. So why would I want to be friends with someone who wholeheartedly supports that individual? Shit, I am losing family over politics. What's a few friends? Well, don't take this the wrong way, but most of my buddies are Trump supporters. Not I. Anyway, those are my dudes right there. If I'm in a bind, I call. They drop what they do and to help, and vice versa. We've had some heated arguments over politics and I generally try to avoid the topic, but I do that with everyone. Anyways, if you're willing to kick a friend to the curb based on their political views, they may not be a true friend to begin with, but I'm not telling you what it is. I don't know you. This is a decision you gotta make on your own. It depends on how much you care about the person, I guess. And maybe some other shit too. I dunno. I'm just a dumb redneck. But at the end of the day, you don't need to ask yourself if it's right or not. You just gotta do what rings true to you. If it's a true friend, I wouldn't let that go. Real friends are hard to come by. I got more fingers than friends, but those cats would do anything for me. We disagree on shit all the time, but those are my dogs. Point blank, period.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.